E. Courtroom. Day. The camera pans across a packed courtroom. Judge Harold Crawford, 50s, arrogant, commanding, sits at the bench, his gavel poised. Spectators whisper and lawyers shuffle papers. In the corner, Sergeant Thomas Reed, 30s, stoic, impeccably uniformed royal guard, stands tall, his face unreadable. Narrator. In the halls of justice, power is rarely questioned. But today, one man's arrogance will meet its match. Judge Crawford bangs his gavel, silencing the room. He glares at Sergeant Reed, who is present as a ceremonial witness for a military case. Judge Crawford sneered. "You there, guard. Stand straighter. You're not at a parade, and I won't have you embarrassing this court with your theatrical costume." The crowd murmurs. Reed remains motionless, his eyes fixed forward. Crawford leans forward, his tone dripping with disdain. Judge Crawford. "What's the matter? Too disciplined to speak? Or just too dim?" A few spectators chuckle nervously. Reed's jaw tightens, but he stays silent. The camera zooms in on his gloved hand, clenching slightly. Narrator. Sergeant Thomas Reed has faced insults before, but what Judge Crawford doesn't know is that Reed sees more than he lets on. The hearing proceeds. A minor case involving a military contractor. Judge Crawford berates a lawyer, his temper flaring. Reed, still standing, scans the room with trained precision. Close up. Reed's eyes narrow as he notices Crawford slip a small envelope into his robe. A moment later, a shady lawyer, slick at the defense table, winks at Crawford. Narrator. Royal Guards are trained to notice what others miss, and Sergeant Reed has just seen something that changes everything. Flashback. Reed in training, an instructor explaining, "Your duty isn't just to stand, it's to protect, honor, truth, and justice." Back to present, Reed shifts slightly, his gaze locking onto Crawford. The judge notices and smirks, mistaking Reed's attention for intimidation. Judge Crawford. Mocking. "Still staring, guard? Don't waste my time." Reed's expression doesn't waver. The camera lingers on his calm, piercing eyes. Narrator. Crawford thinks he's untouchable, but Reed's silence is louder than words. Crawford prepares to deliver his ruling favoring the shady lawyer's client. The room is quiet, expectant. Suddenly, Reed steps forward, his boots echoing on the polished floor. Seagrave Reed. Calm, authoritative. "Your Honor, I request a moment to address the court." The crowd gasps. Crawford's face reddens, stunned by the breach of protocol. Judge Crawford. "You dare interrupt my court. Sit down, or I'll have you removed." Reed doesn't flinch. His voice is steady, cutting through the tension. Sergeant Reed. "I've witnessed an exchange that compromises this court's integrity. An envelope passed to you by the defense. I believe it's evidence of bribery." The room erupts in whispers. The shady lawyer pales, fumbling with his briefcase. Crawford slams his gavel, but his confidence wavers. Judge Crawford. "This is outrageous. You're out of line, guard." Reed remained calm, turning to a bailiff nearby. "Seagrave Reed. Check his robe, now." The bailiff hesitates, then approaches Crawford under Reed's unwavering gaze. The camera zooms in on Crawford's panicked expression. No. One voice, one moment of courage can unravel even the mightiest facade. The bailiff retrieves the envelope from Crawford's robe. Inside, a stack of cash and a note. The crowd gasps as the bailiff hands it to a prosecutor who examines it with a grim expression. "Dear prosecutor, this is evidence of corruption. Judge Crawford, you're under arrest." Crawford stammers, his authority crumbling. "Judge Crawford, this is a mistake. I'm the victim here." Two police officers enter, handcuffing Crawford. The shady lawyer tries to slip out but is stopped by another officer. The camera follows Crawford as he's led out, his head bowed in shame. Close up. Reed stands tall, his face calm but resolute. A spectator whispers to another, "Who is that guard?" Narrator. Sergeant Reed didn't seek glory. He sought justice, and in minutes he turned the tables on corruption. Montage. Flashbacks of Reed's training, his oath to uphold honor, and now this moment, standing firm as justice prevails. Exes. Courthouse steps. Day. Reed exits the courthouse, ignoring the flurry of reporters. A young journalist catches up to him. "Jonas, Sergeant Reed, you exposed a corrupt judge. How does it feel to be a hero?" Reed pauses, his voice quiet but firm. Sergeant Reed. I'm no hero. I did my duty. Anyone can stand for what's right. He walks away, the camera lingering on his disciplined stride. News vans broadcast the story. Royal Guard brings down corrupt judge. Nibung. Sergeant Reed's actions rippled beyond the courtroom. A reminder that integrity, not power, defines justice. Montage. Citizens discuss the case on social media. Posts flash on screen. A child watches Reed on TV, inspired. A new judge takes Crawford's place, vowing fairness. Nowadays, when power forgets its purpose, it's the silent who remind us what justice means. This story was inspired by the Royal Guard's values of courage and discipline. Stand up for integrity, hold power accountable. Narrator. Where are you watching from? Drop your location in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more Royal Guard stories that inspire. The camera pans across a lively community center. Banners read, "Stand for justice, child safety and accountability." Families, activists, and local officials mingle. A table displays pamphlets about recognizing signs of distress and reporting corruption. Narrative. Sergeant Reed's stand in the courtroom was just the beginning. His courage sparked a movement, one that's changing lives. The camera focuses on Sir James Thomas Reed, 30s, still stoic but with a warmer demeanor, now in civilian clothes, speaking quietly with a group of children. He demonstrates a simple hand signal for safety, the same one from the previous story's inspiration. Certainly encouraging. If you ever feel scared, this signal can help. Someone out there will see it and they'll act. A young girl in bright eyes. Young girl. Like you did for that judge. Reed chuckles softly, a rare moment of warmth breaking through his disciplined exterior. Sergeant Reed. Something like that. Cut 2. A local organizer, 30-some, passionate, takes the stage, addressing the crowd. Organize. Thanks to Sergeant Reed, our city is stronger. We've trained thousands to spot danger, report corruption, and protect our kids. One man's courage showed us what's possible. The crowd applauds. Reed shifts uncomfortably, not seeking the spotlight. The camera lingers on a wall of letters from community members thanking Reed. One letter, written in a child's handwriting, reads, "You made me feel safe." Flashback. Reed in the courtroom, standing firm as Judge Crawford is led away. Then a montage of news headlines. City launches safety initiatives. Corrupt officials face probes. Royal Guard inspires change. Back to present, Reed steps outside, looking at the city skyline. A young officer, 20s, eager, approaches, saluting. Young officer. "Sergeant, you're why I joined the Guard. I want to serve like you did." Reed nods, his expression serious but kind. Sergeant Reed. "It's not about the uniform. It's about doing what's right, even when it's hard." The camera pulls back, showing the bustling community center behind them, a symbol of hope and action. Narrator. One moment of courage can ripple forever. Sergeant Reed didn't just stop a corrupt judge. He reminded us all to stand for justice. Every day. Final shot. Reed walks away, the sun setting behind him. The screen fades to a simple message: be the one who acts. The camera sweeps over a vibrant park filled with families, balloons, and a stage decorated with banners, "Heroes of our city." A crowd claps as local firefighters, teachers, and volunteers receive awards. Sergeant Thomas Reed, 30s, stoic but approachable, stands off to the side, now a reluctant public figure, watching quietly. This has been. Sergeant Reed's actions didn't just change a courtroom, they changed a city, and sometimes the smallest voices carry his legacy the furthest. The camera focuses on Lucy, 10, determined. The same young girl from Chapter 7 who practiced the safety signal. She's in the crowd, holding a handmade poster, "Be brave like Sergeant Reed." Her mother, 30, supportive, smiles beside her. Cut 2. The stage where a city official, 50s, warm announces the final award. City official. Today we honor not just heroes, but those who inspire them. Lucy Carter, please come forward. The crowd murmurs, surprised. Lucy freezes, then walks to the stage, clutching a folded piece of paper. Reed watches, intrigued. Narrator. Lucy was just another child in the crowd, until she saw what courage could do. Flashback. Lucy at the community center, Chapter 7, practicing the safety signal with Reed. Later, at school, she notices a classmate, 9, shyly using the same signal during recess. Lucy quietly alerts a teacher, who intervenes. Back to present. Lucy stands at the microphone, nervous but resolute. She unfolds her paper and reads, her voice growing stronger. EWC. I learned something from Sergeant Reed. He saw something wrong and didn't look away. A few months ago, I saw a friend who needed help. She was scared, and I used what I learned to help her. Now she's safe. The crowd applauds warmly. Reed's eyes soften, a flicker of pride crossing his face. Lucy looks directly at him. Lucy, boldly. Sergeant Reed, you showed me that kids can be brave too. Thank you. The crowd erupts in cheers. Reed nods at Lucy, a rare smile breaking through. The camera catches her mother wiping away tears. Cut 2. After the ceremony, Reed approaches Lucy and her mother. He crouches to Lucy's level. Sergeant Reed, gentle. You're the real hero today, Lucy. You didn't just learn, you acted. Lucy beams, handing Reed her poster. Adam, you see? Will you keep this so you remember? Reed takes it. His expression serious but warm. See great R. Reed. I'll never forget. Montage. Lucy teaching other kids the safety signal at school. News clips show more communities adopting child safety programs inspired by Reed's story. Reed, back in his Royal Guard uniform, marches in a parade, the poster tucked safely in his locker, shown in a quick cut. Narrator. Courage isn't just one act, it's a chain, linking one heart to another. From a Royal Guard to a child, the fight for justice lives on. Final shot. Lucy's poster, now framed in Reed's home, with the words "Be brave" glowing in the sunlight. The screen fades to a message: inspire, act, protect.